Get ready for a great show.
Black space is a place for us.
Real people with real issues.
Discussing real topics.
Black space.
A safe space for our community.
Hello, I'm George Middleton, your host this evening on this podcast episode of Black Space Live. The topic and title of our show today is Part 5 of Who Hurt You? A conversation about relationship trauma. Before we get started, I'd like to take this time briefly to encourage you to like, subscribe, and share this podcast. In other words, don't be selfish with this content. Share the love. After all, we're going to be talking about love this evening. And this is the month of love. Let's take a quick minute to reintroduce two amazing panelists who need no reintroduction, but just to give them a chance to say, hey, how you doing? Let's start with the lovely Desi.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me back on the show. I'm Desi, and you can follow me on social media at juveneolive.com, all over social media. Happy to be here. Happy to talk about this topic again with you guys. And thanks for having me.
Welcome back, Desi. And I must say, the look is amazing.
It is.
Thank you.
I like it. I really love it.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. And the beautiful Zuri.
Hey, Black Space, it's Zuri. I'm glad to be back once again, and I'm glad to be doing this topic again. Thank you for having me again. It's always a pleasure.
So you two are excellent examples of the reason why I enjoy this job. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this.
Thank you.
Yes. So we've had an amazing journey in discussing this concept of relationship trauma. And we're into part 5 of the series, and the producer thought that taking it in a different direction of interest would be appropriate as it pertains to promiscuity. And on a side note, the producer is like very passionate about this topic, and so there's a lot of angles to take this from. So I'm not sure where this discussion is going to go tonight, but that's what makes it exciting.
Okay.
But we're going to kind of approach it from the angle of feminism. So the first question. Well, before we get into feminism, let's just talk about promiscuity. Here's the question to kind of open everything up on. Is promiscuity good, bad, or indifferent? Zuri.
I think it's bad.
Explain why.
Because when you are like that, there's too many dangers that can happen. STDs, unwanted children. There's so many different things that can happen. Then sleeping with so many people, putting all those energies inside of you, just dealing with it's a lot.
Can there be such a thing as, they call safe sex? Is there such a thing as safe promiscuity?
I don't think so, because it still leads to things. It could be safe, but how safe is it? Or how safe can it really be?
Okay. Desi.
I think that promiscuity is a bad thing. I think that people are promiscuous out of kind of a rebellious spirit, and it kind of only leads them back to the idea that they don't want to be promiscuous most of the time. And so therefore it's never a real purpose for being promiscuous except to show and teach yourself that you don't want to live that type of lifestyle. So I definitely think it's bad. I definitely believe that it is a sin against your own body to be allowing different people to enter your body in that way. I definitely believe that scientifically, if promiscuity were a good thing, it wouldn't cause, like Zuri said, so many STDs and diseases. So it's a lot of facts that show that promiscuity just isn't good.
Okay, so you two are a match on your assessment of promiscuity. Is promiscuity equally negative, in your opinion, regardless of gender?
You can go ahead, Desi. You can go first. You're like you want to say something.
Do I think it's equally negative in society? No, I think that women are judged more harshly for being promiscuous. As a human, I think that promiscuity is worse for men to be promiscuous because I feel like men are creating people in households in their promiscuity that are being abandoned. And majority of times women are not doing that in their promiscuity. So men's promiscuity goes outside of their own bodies into affecting the lives of a lot of other people, whereas a woman's promiscuity may only just affect her or leave her as a single mother or something like that.
So you're saying that the men's promiscuity, while perceived less negatively, has more negative damage or social impact.
Exactly.
Okay. Zuri, your opinion.
I think for men, that's a hard one. Because when you go back, I think it's bad, but then again, it's really not. Men can handle it more because as women, we take in energy. We're receivers, give it out. So at the same time, just even being the single mother part, that's major in itself. And women are the ones, like we say, women are the ones that make the decision to sleep with men. So most of the times men wouldn't be promiscuous if it wasn't for the woman. And if you go back into, I don't even know how far to even really go back. Most men are monogamous through the Bible because they've been told through religion that there was like one woman household, but like way back in history, men had several partners or were able to take care of families. So I think it lays what. Hold on. Excuse me. It weighs. Thank you. It weighs more on the women than it does the men. And then, yes, men, they can protect themselves, but even if it comes down to raising single mothers, or say a father decides to be single because, say I'm going to raise the child by myself. That man raising the child by himself still has a better chance than the mother raising the child by itself, as far as like the poverty line, and a child being raised with just only the father in the house. It's been shown that it's just like sometimes having both parents in the house still. Kids benefit more from really just the father in itself, even if he is a single parent on his own.
Now, I am not familiar with that statistic at all. Mm-hmm. So you're saying that pound for pound, the single father actually has more of a positive impact over the child than the single mother?
Yes. Hold on. Go ahead.
I'm going to have to research that.
Okay, yes, they said The fathers, their children are more fit. A father can go to work all day long, work 8 to 12-hour shifts, still come home, have energy to take care of the children, feed the children, all of those things. When a mother she's not built for those kinds of things, to work 8 hours, they still come home exhausted, then you're angry with the children. I don't know if you ever seen single fathers or just being in a marriage alone. The father can work all day long and still have energy to come play with the children, hang out with his friends or do whatever. Yeah, it's been said that single fathers can take better care of their children by themselves than a single mom, plus the income level, because men make more than women make. And they can do way more jobs than a woman can do, energetically and all different kinds of things, technically.
That breaks a lot of stereotypes, a lot of personal experiences. I can say as a therapist, I work with a lot of youth and families, and I'm in the juvenile court systems a lot. And the typical picture that I see is the single mother with a child. I very rarely see single fathers coming into courtroom, family court with the children. So I've really got to do some work.
And I think that's the point when it comes to whether promiscuity is more damaging for men. I somewhat agree with you just from my own personal experience. I know several single fathers in my family and in my husband's family that took the bull by the horns, took their children, raised them very well. So I do agree that it could be possible that a single father could raise a child better than a single mother. But the encompassing question is, how often does that actually happen?
Right.
And because that is very rare, then men's promiscuity in the Black community is causing more damage than good, because it's very rare that you have a single Black father. It's kind of also like that statistic that says that Black men are better fathers than white men when they're fathers. Great statistic, but if they're not being fathers, does it even out?
I think it's not. I think it's very rare because it's not reported, but it happens all the time. It's not rare, but then you have to say it's very rare because there are more single Black mothers than there are childless men. There's more women with single that just have children by themselves versus a man. So there's more women with children. There's more women making babies than men that don't have children. So that just goes to show that women are being promiscuous with the same group of men.
There's more women making babies than men have.
Yes, if you go and research, there are more fatherless men that do not have children. There are more single mothers. More women have children versus men.
Okay. I mean, that goes to the point of the promiscuity of the Black male, is because they're out creating families.
No, it goes to show that different women. It goes to show that women are sleeping with the same group of men. That everybody wants the same man. Okay, everybody wants to be with the same dope dealer, or this man that's been with everybody versus the guy that's been to college, or just in general. Women want the same group of men and complain and say that, oh, men aren't this, but all you guys are sleeping with the same group of men. How is that possible? You have women walking around here, 4 or 5 women that have the same father, that fathered their same child.
I find it hard to call women more promiscuous than men they are.
I say they're more promiscuous because a man is not going to let you sleep with him unless the woman okays it.
A man is not going to let you sleep with him. I've never met that wouldn't let you sleep.
Okay, so in order for you to sleep with the man, when you guys have sex, you okay it, right? Or he's not just sleeping with you or raping you. Right?
Some men are very aggressive. If you look at the rape statistics, you'll find that a lot of people say no to those type of relations, and men don't take them seriously, and they don't report it because they're going to be seen as putting themselves in the situation and having that aggression come upon them.
How
I totally
how many
disagree.
women have agreed with it and then turned around and called it something else because the man didn't want to go on with the relationship, or the man already told them from the jump, this is what I don't want. And then the woman still, oh, okay, I'm going to have a baby by you.
You have to have sex with somebody to have a baby by them. So I would
yes,
never
exactly.
blame a
So
woman.
let me ask you
for
this.
that.
You never blame women, but just like we said from those, okay, women, like even say when you're 16, 17 having babies, women have the option to be like, okay, I don't want this baby, I'm going to have an abortion. Nobody ever consents with the man at the age of 16, 17. We know that they cannot take care of a baby, but a woman thinks at that young age that she's ready to take care of a child. I don't think so. Women just can go like say, I'm going to go have an abortion, or I'm going to keep the baby without even asking the man what he thinks about it.
Well, that would be individual circumstances. That's a very broad statement you're making. You can't say that everybody doesn't ask the male counterpart about aborting.
You could talk to men and at the age of 16, 17, they're not ready to have men. It's the women that are majority like, oh, I'm looking for love, or they feel like they can take care of a baby at a very young age. And it still
Okay,
goes.
but there are still very young men that don't believe in abortion. So even if they did not feel like they were able to, I personally know of several people whose mother would say, "Hey, you're going to have this baby, and we'll be here to support you on the male side." So I don't think that everybody. I'm personally pro-choice. I don't think that everybody is pro-choice. Not every man is okay with abortion. I don't believe that.
But what about the women? And I'm saying that, like what you say, they're pro-choice. But what about the men that are like, no, I don't want it, or let's have this baby, and the woman still goes and do it?
Well, those are case by case circumstances.
No, it's not case by case. This happens all the time.
Well,
it's just something that's never spoken about because it's just never spoken about because it's always been the woman's narrative since generations, since grandmas, great grandmas. It's always been the woman's narrative.
So you feel like a woman's promiscuity, because it results in a child that they should abort.
It hurts the woman way more than it hurts the man. It hurts the community as a whole, but it definitely hurts the woman more with her being promiscuous, because at the end of the day, she knows that she's going to be the one that has to take care of the baby.
Absolutely. That's wiping all of the responsibility from men.
Do you think so many women would be so promiscuous if there wasn't so much government assistance available for them?
There shouldn't have to be government assistance available for them, because you should be requiring the male counterpart that's creating this child to actually take care of the child, whether it was a mistake or not.
But how many women are doing that? I know there's plenty of women that don't even know the man's last name and still having babies by him, only been with a man 6 months and be like, okay, I think we could raise a family and have a child together. That doesn't make any sense at all. You don't even know anybody at 6 months and have a child by him.
Give men the pass of just kind of being so ignorant in every area of life that the woman
would you give a man a pass, but you just slept with them? That makes no sense. Why would you give somebody a pass after you just slept with them this many times and had a baby?
There's two people here.
And that's my main woman issue. Still is more responsible.
No,
the woman is still
women are not. One parent is not more responsible for a child. That is not true.
I'm not saying
two
that
people
one.
Make
I'm
a
not
child,
saying that
and
one
two
parent
people are responsible for them. That's just what it is.
That's true, but why
if
not
you go
use
to any
discernment
court
from
of
the
law,
jump?
nobody is going to say in court that the woman is more responsible for the child.
Who puts more? Who goes to child support court more? Who gets honored in child support court more? Who gets honored in the courts even through marriage more, the man or the woman?
The most capable parent, from what I understand. Like I said, in my experience, I've known several single fathers that have taken custody of their children.
Taken from a child, they have to be on drugs. There are plenty of men that are way better parents than these mothers walking around, but the courts will not give them. The woman is bitter and will not let this man raise the child. It's been proven that just men are better parents. It is what it is. I mean, we may not hear it, but it's the truth. Women, like I said, women, we get so emotional, even with taking care of the child, and you guys, everybody start hollering at them, cussing out the child, emasculating the children.
I have
so
never
much
heard
that comes
the
along with
statistic
it.
that men are better parents. I have heard the statistics that children need both parents, but I do not believe that there is a
But did you
statistic
read the
that says
statistics
that
where
men are
how
better
much
parents.
that a father raising? Have you read the statistics where they say that a single father home is just like having a mother in the home?
No, I
And
have
most
not.
moms that raise children by themselves, majority of them are below the poverty line, and the children suffer.
Okay, let's look
And
at this.
majority of the children that are raised by single moms or their children end up in jail.
Let's listen to this statistic and a couple here I want to share with you that I think fits well into the conversation you two are having. Promiscuity is rising. The percentage of 18 to 29-year-old women that have had 10 partners or more, and it is at an all-time high. At 17, over 2 times higher than it was in 1989. Furthermore, the same group, the percentage that have had sex with a stranger, in other words, from a meeting a guy at a bar or club or dating app, has increased from 20 to 88 to a staggering 60% last year. So, in other words, the behavior of promiscuity on the part of women is increasing, which is interesting that there's a stat on the rise of promiscuity in women as compared to the level of promiscuity in men. I'm not sure what to make of that. That in and of itself is interesting.
It's very
I think
interesting, and it
I
just
think a lot of
goes
it
to the
also
point
has
that
to
it's
do
like
with a lot of the music.
Okay, one at a
men
time.
are expected to
Say it
be
again, Desi.
men are expected culturally to be promiscuous, and the responsibility that comes from their promiscuity is being shoved over to the woman that is, and this term, I'm going to use the term victims of their promiscuity. Because if it be true what Zuri is saying, that a woman is not as suitable for being a single parent, that is still makes the male promiscuity more harmful to the community. Because if he's leaving children with an inadequate parent because of his promiscuity, he is causing menaces in the community. He's leaving them to not be raised by the most suitable parent, according to Zuri.
So yes, and according to Zuri, why would you sleep with these men? You women know and see these red flags, but you children with these men. Makes no sense to me. You guys women will see a man that doesn't take care of any of his children and still want to have a baby because you think that you can change him. Doesn't make sense.
So there's two social statements there. Desi made a very powerful statement by her observation that men are culturally expected to be promiscuous. That's deep. And Zuri, you're saying that women, for some reason, are making the decision to pick men that clearly have too many red flags, yet they pick the red flag guy because they think they can change them. So I'm wondering where the intersectionality is between these. The expectation of men to be promiscuous. Because if you think about it, I'm just thinking off the top of my head right now. If men are expected to be promiscuous and we have that mindset of being promiscuous, then what type of woman are we looking for that will entertain our promiscuity? Is promiscuity a behavior based on character, based on socioeconomic status, based on culture? Are some cultures more prone to it than others? Where are men looking? What type of woman, or where is this source of available women for men to be able to act out this promiscuity based on societal expectations? What are your thoughts on that?
I think
I
if the
believe
women, most
that.
of them that they are.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead. Okay, go ahead, Zuri. You start.
I was going to say, I think most of them start with the ones, like you say, that they meet at the club, the bars that do the one night stands. And they're easy. It's a lot of times it's easy to pick out ones that, that they know that don't use discernment. They don't have the fathers in the home. And then they have a trail of doing it since they were young. Nowadays, like, women are way more aggressive than men. Men are not the aggressors pretty much anymore.
Okay. Desi?
In the music, like you said, I guess if the culture is supposed to be the music.
It seems to me that across cultures, men seem to be pretty promiscuous, in my opinion. I feel like across cultures, women are expected to be virgins. So I think that's the age-old question. How is it that men are expected to be promiscuous and women are expected to not be having sex? That I've heard that question many times, and it's an age-old question. How does that work? So we have the increase in promiscuity because of the fact that long before maybe even our parents, there are a few choice women that are around that are promiscuous. I think women that are at home being the virtuous woman kind of feel like they over time have been slighted. And so women, to the statistic that you quoted, George, women have become more promiscuous because from what I've understood, they feel like more is being given to the promiscuous women, more time, more attention these days, more gifts, more money. And there's really not that much of a reward for a lot of women for being a virtuous woman. And so that's why I believe that promiscuity is on the rise among women. Now, at this time, the pool that they're choosing from, your statistic, the pool is large now. Back then, the pool might be a couple of, these type of houses and brothels that service this kind of activity. But now the pool is pretty much, like you said, I think 88% of women.
One more statistic that I think should be of note here is that 80% of Black children are fathered by 20% of Black men. Basically, the majority of Black children are being fathered by a small percentage of Black men.
Right. So that statistic in itself tells you who is being the most promiscuous. Because if 20% of men,
I didn't hear you.
80% of Black children are fathered by 20% of Black men. Basically meaning that the majority of Black children are being fathered by a small percentage of Black men.
Right. So that shows you where the promiscuity is actually coming from. It's coming from men. I mean, we're all adults here. So we know the love bombing that men put on women to get what they want. So I can't blame a woman.
Wait a minute. Desi, you're always good for something. You're always good for a good. Come on, the love bombing that men put. Come on, break this down. The love
bombing. They just appear to be completely enamored with you. They spend time with you. The things that men do for women to get what they want out of women and then leave. So I can't blame a woman for everybody doesn't have the same amount of intellect. So I can't blame every woman for falling for this tactic and saying, oh, well, they all want the same guy. It's just manipulation. It's pure manipulation.
So this love bombing, this must be like really powerful.
I think
What is it about this love? Why are not all women, but why does it seem that a significant percentage of women are vulnerable to this concept of love bombing? What's that all about?
because majority of them don't know most of them don't know what love is, and they just like what they're hearing from the men. So, oh, he's giving me this, he's doing that, oh, he loves me, instead of looking at the big picture. But you're still not putting in the part that women aren't taking accountability for their actions and still wanting to make a child with this man. What makes that right about that? Just because he's giving you everything you want, that means, hey, let's go raise a family and be married, instead of jumping into the of life versus, oh, he's making me feel good. Not a reason to have a baby by a man just because he's making you feel good.
Honestly,
like I said, majority of women don't know what true love is. Wooed.
No, it's a good reason according to our society, because we're raised as women to be looking for that Prince Charming that's going to sweep us off of our feet. So when he comes along, nobody is thinking,
that's the problem. I feel like they need to stop showing Disney movies. That's the problem. Too many people think that Prince Charming is this way and you're supposed to be swept off your feet. They need to stop showing Disney movies, because that's where women are getting confused and it's becoming an illusion.
But this is what
a lot of women have. A lot of women have. Doesn't mean it's right.
I think what's going on, Desi, there's a slight delay on Zuri's end, and so it'll sound like she's cutting you off. But I'm noticing that the information is getting to her just a couple minutes slower. So
okay,
I don't know how much we can do about that, but I'm seeing that that's occurring.
Yeah.
My phone.
So yeah, that's what I had to say about that. Then it's just that culturally we're trained to be looking for that. We're trained to be looking for that love bomb. So to me, that's why I say it's manipulation on the part of men. They're raised in the same culture that we are, so they know what would trigger us to say, okay, well, this is the man for me. He's going to do whatever and everything for me to get what they want, and then go on to the next person,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what's happening.
Mm-hmm. That's such a deep, that maybe have to be a part 6, what you're bringing up, Desi, this societal expectation of the male to be promiscuous. It's a very deep topic, and I don't want to get off track on that for this particular show, but that is really powerful observation. Let me ask you two this question. Did feminism release the female boundary of sexual inhibition?
I believe so.
Prior to, the traditional.
I believe it has. I don't.
Prior to the traditional, or prior to the modern day marriage, the traditional framework of marriage was the man worked, the woman took care of the home, and so women were pretty much bound by the strength of the male, as long as he was a good provider. It was what do they call it, golden handcuffs or something like that. Maybe not the most appropriate term, but he's taking care of what needs to be done in order for the family to survive and thrive.
Right.
Who was the creator? Who was the originator of Feminist? What's her name? The I'll find the name. I should know her name right off the bat. Everybody knows her, but she's associated with the feminist movement. And I'm just wondering. I think it's worthy discussion to see if how the impact of feminism itself may have contributed to this attitude of sexual aggressiveness as it pertains to women. What are your thoughts?
I don't know. I mean, it could have been feminism. I just remember growing up in a time where men were, where I was taught that, a man is supposed to approach you and, talk to you. And I never remember a time when I was growing up that it was unheard of to approach a man about being interested in him. My initial response to that would be, what would be the only reason to do that unless you were promiscuous, because most men aren't going to turn down a woman. So it's kind of odd to me that women feel that they can find a lifelong partner, even though some of them say they have, by approaching a man, because I don't know what man is going to say, well, oh, no, thank you. Not many of them are going to say that. So I don't know how you're really seeking out a mate by approaching men and being aggressive. You're only being promiscuous when you do that.
Zuri, your thoughts? You're on mute, Zuri.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was saying that I agree with Desi on that part about women approaching men back in the day. I didn't grow up like that either, just from my era, no. But but I'm pretty sure that they were out there. But nowadays, it's a totally different ball game. And I don't know. There's plenty of men that turn down a whole lot of women. And they say you can talk to most men, and a lot of them by, like they say, eight. Like you said, I think the statistic that you gave is between the 18 to 29. Most women have had like 10 partners, if not more. Most by that age, a lot of, like, even out of high school, most women have had more partners than men. And most men, there might be like a small percentage of them that get women, but majority of them, no, it's not.
Well, the description of feminism is the following. Feminism is a range of socio-political movements and ideologies that aim to define and establish the political, economic, personal, and social equality of the sexes. Feminism holds the position that societies prioritize the male point of view and that women are treated unjustly in these societies. So, for you two, regardless of the name of this concept, do you feel that society at large operates from the male point of view to the disadvantage of the female perspective?
I don't feel like it's ran by the male's point of view. I think it's been ran by a woman's point of view for a very long time. And I just feel like men are just now waking up to what's going on, and women do not like it. Because men have been told since young boys, and a lot of them from their single mothers, to no matter what, take care of a woman with children, even if they're not theirs. Always coddle the woman. A woman can disrespect you, but don't do anything to hurt her feelings. And a lot of those perspectives come from women, not men. I think it's been the woman's narrative for a very long time. And just like a lot of women that have sex with a man knowing that he's not good and have children, but then you want to come along and expect another man to take care of 3-4 other children that's not even his. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, if a man wants to do it, yeah, of course, more power to you. But a lot of times, no, and it's even hard for a man to even create his own legacy off somebody else's children. That's not his DNA. That's too many different DNAs involved with. So why couldn't Tom, Dick, or Harry or whoever marry you, but you expect another man that has his stuff together to come take care of you and all your children? No. And those are just decisions that you decided to make. But when women expect men to take care of them, even if they've had, or like they say, if they've given their womb to so many other men and given them babies. No.
Yeah, I think our community would look a lot different if Black men were being taught to cater to and coddle women. I don't think that's something that's actually happening.
But look how disrespectful the women are. Look how the women won't even take accountability for the actions in the games that they play a part in. And you guys just think that men are supposed to bow down. You got Black women do not even listen to men, but you want them to protect you.
Lots of women don't listen to men. White women don't listen to men. You see them marching in the street about
It's
not wanting to
across the
listen to
board,
men.
and majority of all races are sick of it. Majority of the men. That's why men have started this thing. I think it's called MGTOW, or men going against women or certain things they're tired of, because women, just as how you guys like to say that men abuse you or whatever, women have been manipulative since the day of time. Have you ever even watched divorce court where you women will have men take care of a child that's not even theirs and they know it?
I just got this text. It reads, the fact that 80% of children fathered by only 20% of Black men looks bad on the part of women, because that means that they are excluding the majority of Black men and only choosing to sleep with a small percentage of Black men.
That's what I said earlier when Desi was mentioning that it looks bad on the men. I'm like, no, it looks bad on the women, because there are more single mothers than there are men. Men want to be married, but who wants to marry women that keep having children with all these men and don't marry them? And they know that they can get on Section 8, they can get welfare, they can do this, or I can just put you on child support. I don't need you. So the women are being way more promiscuous than the men are nowadays.
I see that a bit differently because of I'm on the internet a lot talking to people, and I know that a big debate across the internet is interracial dating and how a lot of Black men marry outside of the race. So for me, the disparity in the numbers could be because those 80% of men are not even interested in Black women. So that could also be a reason for that disparity. It doesn't have to necessarily mean that those men are available to Black women and Black women are just throwing them to the side, like, no, give me Pookie or Ray Ray, you know.
Let's I was gonna say, but let's be for real though. Why do you think Black men go to other races? How many chances have Black men given Black women these days? And they still don't want to listen. Disrespectful, nasty mouths, have attitudes. It's a plethora of things. They don't want to lose weight. It's a take me as I am. Unhealthy diets. There's so many things that come into that. Not nurturing. Don't care about the children. Put the man before the children. A man that's not even a father and just put the children to the side. I mean, there's a whole lot of reasons. This isn't something that just started.
And this is also something that does not necessarily just evolve from Black women. It evolves from the breakdown of the family, which involves men. Men are responsible in the family unit. It's not just, oh, look at how misbehaving those kids are. Oh, they belong to a Black woman.
So
let me just say this. I have an extreme issue with this right here, because it actually happens to me a lot in my life. My husband will have my children, and he will get all this praise for being a good father, and all he's doing is in the store. He doesn't have to even be buying them anything. He doesn't have to be doing nothing at all, but just have them. And then people will be, oh, you're such a good father. Me, I could have one on my back, buying them everything, taking them to dropping them off at ballet, and people will just look at me like, okay, you should be doing that, or you're not doing enough. Nobody ever tells me that you're such a good mother. Excuse me?
Why does it hurt you that people do that? You seem
because of the lack of responsibility that people give to Black men in this society. That's why it hurts me. Because if a Black woman
lives than any other race.
What'd you say?
I said Black men are more involved in their children's life than any other race.
When they're involved, we know that statistic is when they are
if the mother
involved.
lets them because they're bitter, or he has another girlfriend, or he did something that she doesn't like. So guess what? I'm not going to let you see the child.
We know that that's not something that happens anymore. The court system does not allow people just to be bitter and not allow custody anymore.
So why are women only sleeping with the 20%? But they Black women love red flags, right?
I don't know. I can't generalize Black women and say that
women want cookies or trophies for doing the things they're supposed to be doing. Naturally, you're supposed to nurture the child. You're supposed to take care of the child.
Everybody wants recognition for what they do, whether it's something that
recognition for something that I'm supposed to be doing. I don't be like,
yes, you do. Yes, you do. I'm pretty sure that just like every other human being, you would like a pat on the back.
I don't need a pat on the back when I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to.
No, everybody is human. Everybody enjoys some recognition for what they're doing.
Not when it comes to taking care of your children.
Yes, when it comes to everything. When it comes to everything, you can sweep the floor and you would like recognition for that. People like recognition.
No, I wouldn't.
Yes, you would.
Different strokes for different folks.
I don't believe that. I believe that everybody is human and everybody. If a person is walking around this world doing all these great things and nobody ever says anything about it, they're going to be severely depressed, or they're going to feel like they're doing something wrong.
It's called being mentally strong. You don't have to. A lot of people.
It is not called being mentally strong. That is not called being mentally strong. That's just being abused. That's just being abused by the people that are around.
That's the problem with women. Everything is abuse, and nobody wants to take accountability for their actions and what's
There's a lot of abuse going on in the world, in case you didn't notice.
I know there is.
Zuri?
Yes.
Are you a feminist?
Not at all. Not even close to.
Why?
Never will be.
Why? You feel that the feminist perspective is too selfish? What's your reason?
It's too selfish, and look what's coming about. It's like my body, my this. No, I'm not for that. Men need to be in children's lives, and we need men. We can't make it. The world was really built off men. We can't do the same thing men want. We can't even be equal to men if we wanted to even think about it. It can never happen.
So your perspective is that the male and female are not equal?
At all, no. In no way, shape, or form.
Desi, are you a feminist?
Am I a feminist? I would say, based on the definition, like I said, yes, last time, yes, I do believe in the equality of men, women, and children when it comes to basic rights and respect.
Okay. And as husband and wife, do you see the role of husband and wife as equal?
Do I see the role of husband and wife as equal? This kind of idea that I hear people throw out, it's a little bit foreign to me and very much biblical. So the way that I'm sorry.
I was going to say, when you said that it was kind of foreign to you, who's the protector of the home? Women don't do that. So what I feel is that each party brings, if I would go to the Bible, I'm not necessarily a very biblical scholar or anything, but I did grow up in the religion. So I was always taught that
God, the Most High, created a woman to complement a man in the form of to complete him. So from my understanding, that means equal. Like if you have something incomplete and you have to bring something to complete it, then those things make the whole work. So in that sense, yes, I feel like women complete men and men complete women, and it's an equal contribution to the marriage.
I feel like everybody's already born complete. That's part of the problem. Majority of us think that we're incomplete and you need somebody to make you complete. That's not the truth.
Okay, well, that's your opinion.
Okay, so if the reason I'm trying to connect this to feminism is to see where the role of promiscuity plays. Is promiscuity an attempt for women today, especially as it is being on the rise?
I think
an attempt for the women to exercise their equality.
I think it's a way of form for them not taking accountability for the things that they're doing and their actions and everything that they're doing. Like I said, a man and woman can never be equal. Women can't even perform a man's job. And if you think you can only do it for a certain amount of time. A woman, like I said earlier, can go work an 8-hour job, come home tired, cussing your children out, exhausted. A man, totally different story. And a woman, are you going to go digging deep or under houses with roaches in the sewers, climbing to the high towers to do electricity? No, you're not. You're not built for that.
Did you watch the State of the Union yesterday?
I missed it.
No, I didn't watch it. I only seen the parts that they showed on the news.
There was an African-American woman who was honored there out of Ohio as an iron worker. And you don't see many African-American women in that position. And she is highly touted, highly recognized. I wish I would have thought to get her name. But she breaks a lot of stereotypes. And she loves her job. She's been doing it for years. And I mean, she's doing big boy stuff, building bridges, you know, like up there at the top of heights. And
I understand that.
Well, here's the problem with a lot of
the exception is not the rule.
Well, here's the problem with a lot of people in the African American community, if you call it that. They think at a very base level of brute strength. With all of the technology that we have, women can easily create tools that could dig the deepest ditches and build the highest skyscrapers. My husband does construction, but he doesn't go out and do all of the work himself. So yes, women are definitely in our technological age able to do the things that men can do. Machines can do the things that men can do. But that is not to put the worth of a man onto his brute strength, because that's not the worth of a man. But if we're going to say, well, he's better, he's the head of the household because he has the muscles, and you're lesser because you don't have the muscles, then that's kind of like a basic way of thinking.
Yeah, nobody's saying that that's the way that maybe a feminist might think, but a woman already knows that the man is the head of the household. He's the protector. He does majority everything. If you have one, you can sit at home all day while he goes out and work. Men and women are not meant to be equal at all. It never has been that way.
I think the meaning of the word equal, as in the same, is not the type of equality that the feminists are speaking of. Because you take the word equal, meaning that he eats 2 pieces of chicken, you have to eat 2 pieces of chicken. And I don't think that is what they're meaning. They're meaning that, okay, well, this person gets their fair share. They don't get served second at the dinner table. They get served at the same time. Not that both people have to have a 10-pound ribeye and now we're equal. I mean, that's just what it seems like she's saying, is that, well, men have to protect the house, so they can't be equal. It's like, well, women have to do things that men can't do,
Okay, so one last area. This is the thing about you guys. We can't just like take a topic and take them start to finish and conclude it. You guys bring up so many different layers and levels and newer arguments that, we're on part 5 of this series. How far can we go? 'Cause I think this can go pretty far. Here's another perspective to consider or to discuss. Does promiscuity affect other racial or cultural groups of women the same way that it affects our cultural group? And if so, why does it, or why does it not harm the other groups as in the way that it harms our women as a whole? Thoughts on that?
My thought on it is that we're seeing from the amount of Black men dating out again, that yes, the promiscuous person and their values are transferred onto the women and children, no matter the race. Now, if you have another race of man that is promiscuous, say somebody like the former President Trump, he is promiscuous, but he takes care of his children. So it's not something that is damaging to the community. But when you have a group of promiscuous men that are not taking care of the children and they're leaving it to the woman to only care for the children, you get the same result whether the woman is white or Black, Asian. Misguided children, no father.
So you don't see the differences in outcomes between the racial groups or cultural groups?
Not when the father is Black.
I'm confused. Are you saying the outcomes of promiscuity impact our community more than others, or they don't?
When the Black man fathers a child in another community, you see the same result that you see in the Black community. When a man of another race is promiscuous within their own community, you don't see those same results. It's not to say that men in other communities are not promiscuous, because they are. Just like I gave the example with Donald Trump. He's promiscuous. He's a promiscuous man, but he takes care of the women and children that he creates. So it's not of harm to his community. But Black men are going from our community, white community, Asian community, and leaving single mothers who apparently aren't even suitable to raise a child and kids in their wake. And if you go on the internet, these kids actually all hate Black men. They, it's insane. I see them all over the internet talking about how they wish they had a Black mother. Just very strange things for children to feel, all because of Black men being promiscuous in and out of our community and just leaving havoc in the wake.
Okay. Zuri.
I don't agree, because how she keeps saying that the Black man is going and leaving all these women single and they can't take care of the community. A lot of the times that's still not true. And like I still say, the Black woman still is not taking accountability for the actions or the role that she plays in that. Like George said in the beginning, it's only 20%, so that's a small group of men.
But you like to have it both ways, Zuri, because you say that the man is the protector, but then you say, oh, well, he's not responsible for protecting the family that he created.
He is, but why keep sleep? Like I said, why are women only sleeping with the 20% and leaving the majority?
But isn't he the protector?
No.
Isn't that his role? Whether he's sleeping
but as
with
a woman, you should already
whatever.
know and use discernment to stop sleeping with these men, the Pookies, the Ray Rays, and everybody else.
But they're not equal to that man, so they wouldn't know anyway.
That you've had these children already knowing that he isn't going to be a good father.
Well, they aren't equal to that man, so they probably would assume that any man is good enough to be a head for them.
And that's her problem, for assuming that any man is going to take care of the child. That's her problem. Because like at the end of the day, you choose who you sleep with. And women are choosing the small 20% of the population to sleep with, instead of giving putting the ones that they're probably putting in the friend zone that would take care of the children for the Pookie, the Ray Rays, and all of them.
Well, that's a hypothetical. We don't know that
It's,
they would take, because I've seen many an intelligent man. I mean, look at Nick Cannon. He leaving a wake of kids, single mothers in the stream,
and
and
guess
he would
what?
be
And
one
women
of
are
the
sleeping with
intelligent
him and having babies by him because he has money. Women think that money can take care of children without the father being in the home. The women would not be having children by Nick Cannon if they wasn't opening their legs to him. They're the ones. So don't say, oh, yeah, Nick Cannon has 20 kids. I'm not saying that it's a great thing, but at the end of the day, these women are coming to him. Just like Future, all the baby mamas that he has. Women are just making babies by these men and don't want any responsibility in the part or the role that they've played when you already know that this man has 4 or 5 children, but I want to go ahead and make another baby by him. And if women knew probably more about self-love, and like you said, they weren't dropping love bombs or saying what you want to hear and start using more discernment, a lot of this stuff wouldn't be happening.
Wow. Man, you two. You too. I have, I had a whole arrangement, predetermined structure that I was taking this show through, and you guys just blasted it. I want to take a quick minute. We've been talking about single mothers and stuff, and you see I have a shirt on.
I can't read what the bottom part says.
Crown mentoring. Character. I'm trying to read backwards.
I see character, confidence,
genius, greatness.
Crown mentoring, character, confidence, genius, greatness. And as you all were speaking, I wore this shirt totally by accident. That's one of my jobs. Is I work in a school system for several schools, and we mentor 3rd to 6th grade young men and young women of all cultural groups, but predominantly African American. And we deal with these kind of issues. Our children have so much going on, and I think this promiscuity conversation is definitely connected to the issues of our children today, because it's requiring us, it's requiring them to speak different. They're not really able to be kids. They're kids with adult perspectives, but they're not really mature enough to handle those perspectives.
And adult responsibilities at a young age.
And adult responsibilities. And so I just want to take a time just to shoot out Crown Mentoring. There are a lot of good mentoring groups across the country. I'm especially proud of this one, to be a part of this organization, because we have to be intentional about the work that we're doing. And I think this discussion today on promiscuity, I appreciated the passion from both of your perspectives, because you two represent the public at large on this issue. And wow, I've learned a lot just listening to these different perspectives. So I think we're going to have to pick up on some themes that came out of this regarding to the social expectations of men to be promiscuous. That is heavy. We're also going to have to pick up on the theme of women picking the red flag guy. Why are there men with red flags in the first place? That's how I think as a therapist. I always try to go to the why. Why are people doing it? It's easy to stop at what people do, but as a therapist, I'm always going back to, well, why are they doing that? But I have to say, this has been a very thought-provoking conversation. You two are so genuine, and two warriors, and I enjoy watching. I enjoy watching the sport. It's very, very well done. Any last words, Desi, Zuri?
Great show, as always.
Yes, it was a great show.
Well, this has been awesome. It's Thursday. I guess tomorrow's Friday. We made it past Hump Day. Happy Friday. Super Bowl weekend, right?
Right.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. What are your plans? What are you guys going to do?
I'm not sure yet, but I know I'm definitely going for the Eagles, though. Jalen Hurts.
Okay. Desi, you got a dog in this hunt?
Well, no, my birthday's on Saturday, so I won't be Super Bowling it.
Go ahead with yourself.
Yeah.
All right. Well, happy birthday,
Thank you.
Desi.
Thank you.
We'll be with you in spirit.
Okay.
Yeah. My brother and I will be driving up north to hang out and watch the game with our father. We're both blessed to be able to still have our parents. Both of our parents are still living, so that's a blessing.
That is a blessing.
Yeah, it's a blessing. So we're gonna do that, and just enjoy life, and we'll try to keep from being promiscuous over the weekend.
Yeah.
Since Zuri says there's no such thing as safe promiscuity. Thanks a lot, Zuri. You just ruined my whole weekend.
It could be safe, but how often and how long?
Cool.
Who are you going for?
Game wise, I don't have a dog in the hunt. They're making a big commotion about two quote unquote black quarterbacks for the first time competing each
Not
other.
even the first time. That's the crazy part.
I
Right.
know. It's not the first time.
Yeah. And I just have a hard time getting with that whole the first black this and the two black this, and
Why make it that?
First of all, you're in a league of 70 to 80% dominant African American athletes, and you only have two African American coaches. So what are we tooting our horns about? It's pathetic. And I'm not putting any hate on the two quarterbacks that made it, because they're some bad brothers. I mean, they highly accomplished. I'm not down for the whole celebrating the black thing when day to day you keep insulting us.
I think that's just with the entertainment or social media and the news that's making the big hype about it. Not
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gaslighting or something. I think they do it on purpose because it just seems like it almost seems so redundant that it can't even be the first. There's like the first black woman to win a Billboard. The first is like, this can't be the first black woman to do this. It almost seems like something that they're just saying.
Yeah. And what's to be proud of at this point?
Yeah,
in 2023. I mean, if it was 1907, 1853, you'd have something. But it's 2023. Right. We're still going for the first and stuff.
I mean, we have so many accomplishments. Why is it something that the media keeps bringing up? This tally that they're keeping. So it's very odd.
Yeah. So we may need to come back and have a discussion on that. I think we are kind of got some meat on that bone to pick. So, but I don't mean to say that to shine rain on people's enjoyment for a Super Bowl. Let's go out and party and have fun and
enjoy yourself.
Enjoy yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just think critically. That's all. Just think critically. Well, it's been great. Love you too. To you watchers, listeners, and viewers, have a great week. And until the next time we meet, we'll see you in the black space.